What's going on YouTube? Nathan back with another video presentation. Hope everyone's off to a great week so far. I hope everyone had a great weekend. Hope everybody's staying safe. Yes, your eyes not deceiving you. I know it's only been a month, but it feels like a year. Man, there's so much I missed. But I want to say this right here, right now. This weekend, I'm going to produce a couple videos. One, I'm going to talk about the NFL and just some issues I have with the NFL through the first 7 weeks. And then MLB The Show 20 for the PlayStation 4. I'm going to definitely get some gaming updates with that. But there's going to be a couple of things that are going to be different about the channel. I'm going to talk about that probably in one of those two videos. Not sure yet, but I'll keep you guys updated with that. But let's get into the video. As you see the title of this video, I needed a weekend, this past weekend, to really sleep on this. I wanted to make sure that what I was going to say in this video was clear and precise, and you guys understand where I'm coming from. If you're not familiar with, but I mean, pretty much at this point, you should be familiar with what's going on with Ice Cube. Ice Cube has found himself I don't want to say at the mercy. He's found himself. This has been an interesting debate. I've heard both sides pretty much talk about where they stand with Ice Cube and, him working with both parties to get the black agenda across both parties. And here's where I stand with it. I'm going to talk about a couple things. One, I'm going to give you examples of where I see cracks, where I question Ice Cube's, how can I say it? The organization. Then I'm going to really talk about what we really need to understand. But pretty much to kind of really start it off by saying this. I'm not mad at what Ice Cube's doing. I understand, for the most part, what he's trying to bring across. I understand that. No one can deny that. I think he's not, you don't see a support for two parties. You see somebody that's trying to present this agenda to both parties and saying, hey, this is A, B, C, or D. Can this be done? Can your party do this for, can your party do this for black people? However, see, I'm going to say this. Let me start off by saying this. Over here, I basically just paraphrase what he was saying, but he would call it the contract with Black America. He said that the left said, we'll talk to you after the election, and the right said, hey, let's talk now. Pretty much, here's where you lose me, Ice Cube. And I'm serious. This is where he loses me. You don't wait for them to come to you. You go to them with the agenda. And let me say this. It needs to be a united agenda. I'm going to give you a couple examples. As each example, I'm hoping you guys can understand where I'm coming from. I'm going to start off with this first example. I go to the University of Towson. A couple years ago, this is before I became a student there, in the midst of what happened at the University of Missouri, there were fellow students who did an 8-hour sit-in protest at the administration building. What they did was for 8 hours protested. At the time, interim president Timothy Chandler and the students brought 13 demands and said, hey, listen, can you agree on this, 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 and this. If you can't do that, we ain't going nowhere. What did Timothy Chandler and the administration do at that time? Okay, let's work together. And they agreed with it. When you look at, for example, I look at what Ice Cube is doing right now. I compare it to, I'm gonna leave this video in the description. I did a video in the midst of after Jacob Blake being shot with the NBA, the WNBA, and Major League Baseball and a couple NFL teams canceling games and practices. I asked a question: what was the plan? And in the midst of that, after maybe a couple days, not even a day or two, there was no united agenda. There was no united plan. When you have two teams, the Lakers and the Clippers, them not wanting to play, where everyone said, no, man, let's play. We can take care of this after the election. That is a problem. That's not united. When you see what's happening right now with Ice Cube's situation, this is not a united agenda. It has to be united. When I mean united, I'm talking about East Coast, down South, Midwest, West Coast, united agenda. We may not all, as African Americans, we may not agree on everything, but at least we can come to understanding that there needs to be a united agenda. That's how it works. When you look at the other communities, Hispanic, white, etc., they have an agenda, and they back it by support with votes. For example, Barack Obama's first term, he did not support same-sex marriage. He did not support that. But when it came time for his re-election, he needed the votes. The LGBT community came into play and said, hey, can you, with their agenda, they're funded and they're backed by votes, by support of the agenda. Hey, Obama, can you do A, B, C, D, E, F, G? If you can't do that, we're not voting for you. We're going to put our votes into another person. Barack Obama said, sure. What happened? He got reelected. That's what we should be doing when it comes to this election. We should be presenting our agenda, united agenda, to neither party. I'm not here to tell you guys who you should vote for. But it has to be a united agenda. I watched that debate, the second debate. I watched it. He had an opportunity. I'm talking about Trump. He had an opportunity to talk about, and I believe the question was presented for him. I can't remember the question. Both of them asked it, but pretty much on the subject of race relations. Pretty much. He didn't say a thing. Not one. And he's been talking about this platinum plan. Excuse me. Help me out with this. He's presenting us with a plan. Shouldn't we be presenting him with a plan? Him coming to us, no, it don't work. Like, we should be presenting a plan to him, Biden, doesn't matter. That's how it works. That's what political organization looks like. Not this, they come to us. That don't work like that, because you know what's going to happen? They take advantage and they go, well, I never said that, even though, but throw this in the trash. I did, well, we'll do this, throw this in the trash. That's what happens. When we don't come with our own agenda, we present our own agenda to them and not have them bring their own agenda where they can take advantage and manipulate it. That's the truth. That's the reality. That's what Ice Cube has to understand. Let me break it down this way. When you see guys like 50 Cent, who was supporting Trump, Waka Flocka supporting Trump, 50 Cent coming out and saying he doesn't support him. But I wanted to point this out. You notice how guys like him have all this mouth, but they hide behind the tree. Pretty much what I'm saying is, I'm not mad at Cube. I actually applaud what he's doing. But the agenda must have bite. I shouldn't say the agenda. If you're saying this is the agenda for Black America, this needs to be united. And it must have bite. If it doesn't, it's going to fall flat in our faces. This is what we should be learning. Instead of always having to point the finger and blaming somebody else, maybe sometimes we need to look ourselves in the mirror and go, damn, if, we need to really start being politically organized and presenting our own agendas. And it's not just on the national level, it's on the local level too. I've said it in now a couple of videos. Mayors, DAs, doesn't matter. When you come up with an agenda, it has to be united. And that's what Ice Cube has to understand. I'm going to close out by saying this. In no way am I telling you who you should and should not vote for. I'm not telling you who to do that. What I'm saying is that we have to be politically organized. And we have to be presenting a united agenda. Again, as I've said it now numerous times. We don't have to agree on every point, but to the point where we are united in saying, here's the agenda. Can you do this? A, B, C, or D. When you do that, not only do you have people supporting you, but you're financially backed, etc. If person A can't get it done, person B, can you do that? That's what Ice Cube has to do. For the most part, Ice Cube, I hate to say it, is pretty much out here by himself. I'm not mad at what Cube's doing. I actually applaud that. I wish there were more celebrities, athletes that would take that kind of stance and support that. Nope, you're not going to see it. Because at the end of the day, everyone's worried about the backlash, them being canceled, or worrying about how their lifestyle might get affected. I just wanted to take this opportunity to make a video on this because I'm not annoyed, but I think that when you look at, particularly with this election that's just 9 days away, I think that it is important that we are politically organized and we present a united agenda to both parties. If one party can't get it done, what can the other party do? That's how it works. We look at the other communities, they have the agenda. They have their agendas. No, I hate to say it like that, but we don't have a united agenda. For example, let's just say if Biden gets elected, the first thing we need to do is present him with a united agenda. Hey, congratulations on being elected you President of the United States. Here's our agenda. Can A, B, C, D, E. If you can't do that, we're going to make the next 4 years very hard for you. And then in that next election, whoever runs, hey, he couldn't get it done. Can you get it done? That's how it works. Again, I just wanted to just make this video. I just wanted to just express where I'm coming from. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm not trying to sound judgmental. I'm just looking at it from the standpoint of when we when we stand united on certain things and we let people know where we're coming from, that's how we get the job done. That's how we stay united. But to everyone kind of, half of us twiddling our thumbs and half of us are trying to come up with some plan or have some agenda, and it's not backed united wise, that's a problem. That's a disaster waiting to happen. And I really, really hope we take this election serious, because it needs to be change. But it has to be united. It has to be to the standpoint where we all can go, you know what? Hey, we put you in this office. We put you in this position for a reason. Here's the agenda. I'm going to keep saying that. Repetition. It must be a united agenda, y'all. That being said, I'm out. Peace.